Shabbos, the book of Daniel, it says that prior to the coming of Mashiach, one of the signs of Mashiach, Yispareru v'Yislabnu v'Yitzarfu Rabim, there'll be a clarity. Things will come to the surface. The good will come to the surface, and the evil will come to the surface. That no longer will things be gray and confusing. It'll actually become clarified. And this actually is the counterbalance to the beginning of all the negativity in the world, which is the eating of the tree of knowledge. What happened with the eating of the tree of knowledge? That there was a mixture of good and evil. Prior to the eating of the tree of knowledge, so to speak, the good and evil were separate. You could see what's clearly good, and you saw what was clearly evil. By the fact that Adam and Eve then internalized the works of the fruits of the tree of knowledge, that then created a state of confusion, a state where there's no good without some bad, and no bad without some good. And our avodah, our service from then till now, is what's called avodas habirurim. We have to choose out the good from the bad. We have to separate the good from the evil. That's our entire service. So we use something that is neutral. Neutral means it has good and bad, and we have to utilize it for something positive. Then we extract the negative and lift the positive, or heaven forbid, vice versa. And that's been our divine service. So at the end of time, what needs to happen is there has to be a clarification. The good comes to the surface as good. The evil comes to the surface as evil. As a matter of fact, the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh says that when Pharaoh enslaved the Jewish people, the Torah says, as they pained us, so did the Jewish people multiply. And what he says was that when the Egyptians made the Jews suffer, then any good that were the Egyptians then became part of what the Jewish people had, and any negativity that we had went to the Egyptians. So there was a separation and a clarity between good and evil, and that's what we're seeing today. We're seeing a good and evil becoming clear in front of our eyes. As a Jewish people, we put our trust, as I mentioned in past messages, in many institutions that have proven to be, right now, pure evil. The institution of higher education we're seeing incredible evil there. Institution of Hollywood, incredible evil. Institution of social justice warriors have shown themselves and proven themselves that they don't fight and they don't care for Jews, and they've expressed by the fact they want to stop Eretz Yisrael from securing itself and saving Jewish lives, and the allowance of anti-Semitic messaging from all these institutions is proving their evil. And of course, the media, in large part, it's coming to the foreground. No longer is it confusing. Anyone with eyes that can see clearly the evil, the absolute nefarious intentions and negativity and evil in these institutions. And that's a positive thing. Why? Because we could dislodge good from evil. That's the avodah. That's what happens before Mashiach comes. There's a separation between good and evil. Yes, we have our friends. Our friends are supporting us, and we're very grateful for that. And they are the Chassidim Messiah, the righteous Gentiles who support us. Their goodness is coming to the fore. We're seeing so much good by some of our neighbors and our friends who are being so supportive. I was on the plane the other day and I was asking people if they're Jewish, and some people said no, but I'm telling you, I support Israel and I feel for what happened, and they should go all the way. And they showed incredible support. And we've seen a lot of it. And of course, we've seen the opposite. So this time is actually creating a clarity. When people relied on their friends in the social justice movements, when people relied on the elites, the higher universities, rely, unfortunately, on the legacy media. Now we see we can't. And this has been true both from the right and from the left. There's commentators from the right who have shown themselves to be not supportive of Israel in this time of great need, in this time of moral clarity. How can there be anything more clear than the evil perpetrated against the Jewish people on October 7th? And by virtue of that, the absolute imperative necessity for Israel to eradicate that evil, that it can never rear its ugly head again. That is, if you try to stop that, limit that, and if you try to make it difficult on Israel to be able to do so, then that means that your evil is coming to the fore. Now, the Rebbe did say this, the following interesting thing. Even when that happens, there is a positivity in the fact that evil comes to the fore. You see, there's a concept there's what's called a sin offering, and then there's what we call a hanging guilt offering, which means as follows: sin offering if you've done a sin, and you know that you've done a sin inadvertently, then you have to bring an offering. Imagine if you've forgotten your wife's birthday, then you have to bring an offering. Why? Because it's you're not innocent. You forgot. Okay, but something important enough you won't forget. So that's the same thing. We bring a sin offering if we get to Shabbos and we do something we're not meant to do, etc. Then there is what's called an asham tali. An asham tali is, let's say there's kosher and non-kosher in front of you, and you ate one and you're not sure which one you ate. So then you have to bring this asham. Now, the value of the sin offering and the value of the asham offering, what we call the guilt offering or the hanging guilt offering, has to be 48 times the value of the sin offering. That means in the sin offering you can get away with a little thing, but in the guilt offering, the hanging guilt offering, you have to give something worth 48 times as much. Why? Because when we know we've done something wrong, we could rectify it. And we're not sure, we think when there's confusion, when there's lack of clarity, then we think, I probably didn't do it, nothing was done. So therefore, we're not really ready to rectify it. When things come to the fore and it's clear, and we all of a sudden open our eyes and realize this is bad, then it enables us to understand that we have to actually come to a transformation. Let us hope that all this negativity and evil that we're seeing around us does come to a transformation, and that they see what Israel must do. Cannot have compassion on the evil, because doing so is being evil to the compassionate, to the good. Shabbos.